These are 19 tips that I think will really make your interview day better and increase your chances of getting accepted to medical school. I interview prospective students for getting into the medical school that I go to, and I also speak to faculty or have spoken to faculty who have interviewed other students. The first tip is be nice to everyone. You should be doing this anyway, but on interview day, be extra paranoid. The Uber driver, the hotel you're staying at, you never know who's gonna call back to the medical school. A director of admissions from sunny upstate says, if my secretary says that someone was rude or inappropriate to her, they will not get in. If someone is like that with a student host, a student that is hosting them for the night so they don't have to pay for a hotel, if they are rude or inappropriate or just disrespectful, they will not get in. So I'm a student interviewer and I'm also a student host. Luckily, every student that stayed with me has been really nice, but again, if someone who stayed with me was not so nice, I would have the power to say, you're not getting in. So just be aware of that, especially if you're staying with another student. Number 2, prepare answers for the 3 questions. You know what the 3 questions are. It's why do you want to be a doctor? Why do you want to go here? And tell me about yourself. Make sure you practice this with friends, with family. It's almost better to practice it with someone you don't know so well. So if your school does a mock interview day, I really suggest doing that because it takes you out of your comfort zone that you might be in with your friends or family. Number 3 is know your application. If a faculty interviewer asked you, tell me about your research, and you say, yeah, it was pretty nice. I learned a lot of things about cells and biology. Bye. You're not getting in. Know about your research, be able to explain it, be able to talk about why the research was happening and interesting things. Obviously, you're not meant to know the intricacies of all the biology of whatever research you're doing, but you should know and have some sort of way to talk about what you're doing. Every question is an opportunity for you to relay to the medical school why you're such a good fit for going there. Number 4 is do your research. Google the school. It's really not that hard. Click through all the subsections and figure out what their mission statement is. How can you fit into that mission statement? Another thing to think about is, will the interview be open or closed book? So does that mean will they have access to your records or not? A sneaky tip here is usually you don't know the faculty members that are interviewing you until the actual day of the interview. So you should never ever take your phone out during the interview day. But what I did and what helped me a lot is I would find out who my interviewer was, and then at some point during the day before the interview, I would have a chance to go to the bathroom. And then when you're in the bathroom, take out your phone, turn it on because it should be off, and Google the person that's interviewing you and figure out kind of what their background is, what research they're doing, and where they're born. And maybe you can have something to talk about and some commonalities, which is a good thing. Number 5 is look professional. Interviewees should dress conservatively and should not wear excessive jewelry, cologne, or perfume. She added that eating and drinking during an interview indicate a lack of professionalism. She also said that treating the interviewer with respect, not cutting him or her off, having good posture, and maintaining eye contact are key. Although these may seem obvious, Bailey said applicants make these mistakes often and it costs them every time. Number 6, so you know to look professional, but you also need to act professional. I think I am friendly. I hope I make these students interviewing at my school feel comfortable, but at no point should you take your phone out, start swearing, or put your feet up on the table. Now, they didn't put their feet on the table, but one person put their foot on the chair like next to mine. It was just a weird move. Yeah, don't do that. So, nice to meet you. Hi, my guy, let's get into this. Where did you get a beer? Woo, shit. And also don't forget that I am trying to decide whether or not you will be a good fit at my school. I'm trying to decide whether I would like you as a classmate and a colleague. What I've seen work best for students is tell me about your passions, your life. Tell me about what you enjoy. What do you like to do on the weekends? I'm not really trying to figure out if you're academically a good fit for the school. They already know you're academically a good fit. That's why you're here at the interview day. I'm more trying to figure out if your personality is a good fit for the school and if I can see you being a doctor and a colleague. Give me something good to say to the admissions committee when they review your application. Number 7 is prepare for the medical ethics questions. How would you handle a case of witness negligence in a colleague? What is your opinion on end-of-life care? These are hard questions, but they're hard questions that you should be able to work through. The interviewers aren't necessarily looking for the right or wrong answer, because I don't think with those questions there is a right or wrong answer. When in doubt about these ethics questions, remember the 4 pillars of ethics questions. Autonomy. Does this respect the patient's best wishes? Number 2, non-malfeasance. Does this harm the patient? Number 3, justice. Are there consequences in the wider community? And number 4, beneficence. Does this benefit the patient? But all in all, just take an educated guess. That's all they're asking for. Tip number 8 is have an opinion. You may get the question, should assisted suicide be allowed in America? Now that's a really tough question, but they're just trying to see if you can figure out a way to work through this question. The interviewer isn't looking for a right answer. They want to see that you can articulate and show your thoughts in a clear and concise way. So there isn't a right answer, there isn't a wrong answer, but there isn't a bad answer. The bad answer is, I've never thought about that. I don't really know what I think about it. Bye-bye. Reject. So I prepared what I think might be a good answer here. So if someone says, should assisted suicide be allowed in America? I might say something like, I think assisted suicide should not be allowed. I know the Netherlands, Canada, and some other countries allow physician-assisted suicide. However, I recently read Being Mortal by Atul Gawande, and I agree with him. In his book, he made the argument that a physician's job should not be in making a good death, but making the patient have a good life right to the very end. Of course, I see the other point of view as well, when it is cruel to prolong the suffering of someone who is terminally ill and very sick. I personally believe that the dangers and potential risks in changing the culture around assisted suicide in America outweigh the negatives that go along with assisted suicide in someone who is potentially suffering. So my opinion would be that assisted suicide is probably not a good thing in America. Now, you may disagree with me, but you must agree with me on the point that that is a way better answer than someone says, I didn't think about it. What? Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. If they ask a question and you don't really know what it means, ask them you don't really know what it means. As a medical student and as a doctor, you will definitely run into situations where you don't know the answer. It's kind of the sign of a humble and mature adult that you know when to ask for help. Number 10 is tell them what you want them to know. I remember when I was interviewing for the school that I'm actually at right now, which was my dream school, my number 1 choice school, the school that I wanted to go to no matter what. My interview went really quickly with the faculty. It went like 20 minutes and I was really scared because I knew this was the school I wanted to go to. I wanted to be in Philadelphia and I wanted to go to the school no matter what. So as it was closing, she was like, okay, that's it. Thank you for interviewing me. And I said, hold up. Do you mind if I didn't say hold up. I said, do you mind if I just tell you one more thing? And she said, yeah, sure, no problem. And I wanted to say how this is my dream school. It's my number 1 school. If I get in here, I will attend, and a couple other reasons why I felt the school was such a good fit for me. And I saw her jot down a couple notes. Now, I don't know if that made a big difference, but I would kick myself if I didn't do that. Number 11 is address your weaknesses. For example, if your GPA is low, talk about that. Own the story. Everyone makes mistakes, including doctors. If you can own up to your mistakes quickly and humbly, that's a great sign to the interviewer. That shows that you're not only going to be a good medical student, but you're probably going to be a great doctor too. Tip number 12 is practice, and practice again. Do as many mock interviews as you can. Family and friends, as I said before, is an okay option, but an even better option is professional mock interviewer. Pay maybe $100 to have someone professionally mock interview you. Oh yeah, aren't you paying that per secondary applications? When you go to these mock interviewers, tell them to be honest and specific with you. Was your voice too soft? Did you not hold eye contact? Were you doing too many things with your hands? Were your clothes untidy? Was your tie undone? Were you too casual with the interviewer? These are all really important things because each of these things could be one reason why a faculty interviewer just writes you off. Number 13, and this is a really important rule, limit your answers to 2 minutes. If you go over 2 minutes, the interviewer will probably zone out. I hate to say it, but most of us aren't good storytellers, myself included. So make sure you're keeping your story about even the one where you say why I want to go to medical school under 2 minutes. This means practicing and timing your answers. Just bring a portfolio or a notefolio, even better, and an extra copy of everything. Did the computer go down? Is there no internet? Did COVID find its way into the Wi-Fi network. If any of this happens, you want to be ready with paper things. Number 15, and this is a short one, but take part in the entire day. Is there a special extra thing that happens after the interview day? Make sure you go to that. Usually at these special extra things, faculty members will be there. The director of admissions will usually be there. So if you're not showing up to these special extra things that are optional, it's showing to them that you're not really as interested in the school as some of these other students are. You are interviewing all day. This includes when you're speaking with financial services. This includes when you're eating lunch. This includes when you're talking to the secretary. And this includes those random optional events that come up after the interview day. You are interviewing all day. Number 16 is prepare at least 5 school-specific questions. When at the end of the interviewer they ask you, do you have any questions for me? And you say, no, I don't think I have any questions. What you are basically saying is, no, I have no interest in attending your medical school. I really just came for the free lunch and to look at the pretty sights. So when do I get that lunch? Some questions that I would use for schools generally when I didn't have a specific question planned was, can you tell me about this new department that you've started here? What is that about? Why did you start it? And what is it going to do? To what extent do students here get involved in research? Is it easy to get involved in research? And the 2 questions that I usually nearly always ask are, why did you choose to come to this medical school and to work at this medical school? And what is the best thing about this medical school? These are important questions because you have to remember that you're also trying to figure out if you want to go here, and it gives you a really good insight into why people want to go to this medical school. For example, the school I'm at right now, when I was interviewing, I asked these questions and the person basically said, yeah, I've been here my whole life. I came to medical school here, I did residency, and I did fellowship because I just loved it so much. That sounds pretty good to me, and I think I'll want to stay here for a good amount of time. Number 17 is never ever be remembered for what you are wearing. You don't want to be remembered for what you're wearing. You want to be remembered for the amazing thoughts and discussions you had with students and faculty. So I just made a quick list here. I'm just going to go through it. So you want a suit that's well-fitting, dark blue, gray, or black. You want a shirt that's ironed, long-sleeved, and typically white. You want a tie that's long and conservative, no cutoff ties. Your belt color should match your shoes, and your shoes should be clean and black or brown. Your socks should match your pant color, not your shoe color, but your pants color. Should have a well-groomed hairstyle and beard or mustache. It's okay to show up with facial hair, but if you have something crazy going on, it may just seem unkempt. These are things that were said not to wear from this medical school interview book that I read. Earrings as men, flashy cufflinks, rings, or chains, visible body piercings, strongly scented cologne or aftershave, dirty clothes, and sports shoes. Now for women, a pant or skirt suit that is dark blue, black, brown, or gray, or a tailored dress. A blouse, solid color with collar. Shoes should be clean, closed-toed, dark or neutral color, and low to moderate heels. Things you shouldn't wear: a low neckline, excessive or distracting jewelry, strongly scented perfume, or distracting hair and makeup. I think these are pretty good tips. Again, you want to be remembered for your amazing talking skills and the amazing personality that you're going to bring to the school, not for your flaming suit that you wore to a Guy Fieri convention last year. Do those exist? I hope they exist. Number 18 is, yes, they will look at all your social media profiles. Google yourself. What comes up when you Google yourself? Guess what? What comes up when you Google yourself will be what the medical admissions people see. Number 19 is, don't forget you are making the decision as well. I get it. I was there. It's stressful. You're not even thinking about if you like the school or not. But remember, this might be where you study to be a doctor. This might be where you go for the next 4 years. This might be where you go to medical school. So think about that during the day. Don't forget that you are sizing up the school as much as it is sizing up you. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye. So you want to learn about med school? Or I'll teach you, motherfucker. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why do I want to go to med school? Hot nurses, bro. You know.